What is up, guys? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC Vegas 70. We're going to talk some prize picks. We're going to talk what sticks out. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to Pub Sports Radio if you do not already. And if you are not on prize picks and you want to join, be sure to join and use promo code Pub Sports. Prize picks is always a very fun thing to do on Saturdays. I've been really loving it as of late. And I think this week there's a lot of options that stick out. So I say we get into it. And we'll start with the significant strikes here. And the first thing that sticks out is going to be the under on the Nurollo Aliev significant strike. It's set at 50 and a half. I think his path to victory here is to wrestle and wrestle early and often. I don't really see him going out there and staying at range with Rafael Alves. It wouldn't make any sense to me. I think he goes for takedowns. I think he does get those takedowns, and I think he kind of racks up control time across 15 minutes. So yeah, give me the under on Nurollo Aliev on the strikes. I think that does go under there. The next one I do like is going to be the Charles Johnson over on significant strikes. Charles Johnson's significant strikes is set at 65 and a half. I'm going to take the over there. I like the volume that Johnson brings. Johnson does average 4.66 significant strikes per minute. I think this fight does actually go the full 3 rounds. Charles Johnson, not much of a big power punch guy. I know he knocked out Jimmy Flick in his last fight, but that was Jimmy Flick. I see this fight getting extended here. I think Charles Johnson's going to probably win it. I think it could be closer than that line does indicate, but I think Charles Johnson does get over those significant strikes as a whole. Other than that, I don't hate the Fernandes under 60 and a half significant strikes, just because I think Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to be going for takedowns here and probably getting those takedowns. And once Fernandes is on her back, she doesn't tend to get up. But if Jasmine is not able to get those takedowns, she could hit that over 60, but I kind of lean towards that under because I think Jasmine will get takedowns here. So those are kind of the 3 that stick out in terms of the strikes. In terms of the fight time, a couple other ones I like. I like some unders here. I like the Mike Malott under 7.5 minutes fight time. The reason being is Mike Malott, this is a guy that has not been to the second round in 8 years. 8 wins for Mike Malott, all 8 of them coming in the very first round. I see paths for really both guys to finish. I think Mike Malott has power on the feet. And if this fight hits the mat, Mike Malott is an incredible grappler. He does leave a lot of openings to be hit, though, and Yohan Lainesse does hit very hard. So I think this fight does end under 7.5 minutes there. Another one that I don't mind is going to be the Nikita Krylov under 7.5 minutes. Again, I see paths for both guys to finish. I think Krylov can win by knockout. I think Krylov can win by sub. On the flip side, I think Spann can win by knockout. I think Spann can win by sub. So I think there's paths for both guys to finish and finish early as well. Ryan Spann's another guy that has not been to the second round in 5 or 6 fights. I think these guys are going to go after it early, and I think somebody's getting served here probably in the very first round. So I like these 2 unders here. And then I also do like an over. I like the over on the Charles Johnson fight over 12.5 minutes. I know Osbourne, a lot of his fights do finish, but I see this fight going to decision here. Charles Johnson, just next level durable. This guy's never been knocked out. He's never been submitted. And like I said, I think if there is a finish in this fight, it might come from Charles Johnson late in that 3rd round. So I think this does go over. I think it probably does go the distance as well. So I do like that more for Charles Johnson there at 12.5 minutes. Other than that, I don't hate the Jordan Leavitt under 10 minutes fight time just because it's a striker versus grappler matchup. I can see a path for, Leavitt to get the fight down to the mat and get a sub. And if he's not able to get the fight down to the mat, Martinez could probably get a knockout. I don't hate that under on the Leavitt. Don't hate the under on the Armfield, but, these are the 3 that really did stick out. The Mike Malott, Krylov unders, and then also Charles Johnson overs. So takedowns are interesting because nothing's really sticking out here. I could see, if Leavitt gets a takedown, the fight could be over shortly after. If Solecki gets a takedown, the fight could be over shortly after. Cohen, she could get a takedown or she's getting 2 takedowns. I think the one I'd lean on here would maybe be the Cohen under on takedowns, but even then, it's not something I'm too confident in. And the Suarez, if this fight goes 15 minutes, she's definitely getting 4 takedowns at least. It's just, if she does get on top, she could potentially finish the fight. Same thing for Muniz and Krylov. So it's one for, takedowns. I'm just going to stay away this week, but just a tricky week for those takedown props because I could see a lot of these hitting, but I could see a 1 takedown and the fight's over type situation for the majority of these. So it's going to be a pass for me on these takedowns. Fantasy score, the one that sticks out like a sore thumb is Tatiana Suarez over 92.5. I mean, this line makes no sense whatsoever. If Tatiana Suarez wins this fight, she's going to put up a massive score. She has been off for 4 years. It's something to mention. But if she shows up and looks anything like she did 4 years ago, she should go out there and put up, like 140, 150. I mean, she has a huge ceiling. So for that to only be at 92.5, it doesn't make much sense to me. I don't hate the Gabriella Fernandes under on fantasy score either. I think this fight, we got a striker versus grappler matchup. I think she's going to be on her back for a lot of it. I don't hate the under there. I also don't mind like the Aliev over in fantasy points. Aliev, it's set at 89.5. Like if he wins this fight, Aliev, it's going to, you got to imagine he's going to score well over 89.5. His path to victory is going to be takedowns. He can wrestle. He can wrestle for 15 minutes. He's going to have the cardio advantage here. So I don't mind the Aliev more on that fantasy score. And I think that was about it. I like Jordan Leavitt personally. If he wins, he's going to score over 70, but that's kind of a riskier one there. Charles Johnson, 86.5. I think that's a little high. I don't mind the under on the Charles Johnson, but the one I really like is that Suarez over 92.5 fantasy score. It just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So give me that Suarez over on that fantasy score. I like a couple unders, like I mentioned, the Krylov under, the Malott under. So yeah, a lot of stuff sticking out this week. Staying away from the takedowns, but other than that, a lot of stuff sticking out. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm going to be trying to get this video out either Wednesday or Thursday at the very latest each and every week. Comment down what you like, if there's anything that's sticking out for you. Best of luck for UFC Vegas 70. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. See you later.